Welcome everyone to Yoga Basics. Today the props you will need are a strap, a block, and a chair. And then we'll go ahead and get started by sitting comfortably on the mat, either with the legs folded or extended out in front of you. And again, sitting up on some blankets or even your block. And then we'll just take a few moments to prepare the body. So go ahead and close the eyes and turn the attention inward. Just taking a moment to notice how your body feels. Noting any areas of tension or tightness. And then taking 2 deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale it all out. And one more nice big inhale. And exhale it all out. And then soften the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles of the neck and the shoulders. And then turn the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. And then we'll begin a nice even breathing, inhaling and exhaling to a count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just continue with this nice, even breathing. If at any time it makes you lightheaded or dizzy, just go back to your own normal breathing pattern. And then we also set an intention for each practice to help remind us why we are here. So that may be a benefit you would like to receive, or just an uplifting or a positive thought or phrase. So think of an intention that you'd like to have for your practice today. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. If you did have your legs folded and you want to switch that top leg, go ahead and do that. And then we'll begin our warm-up by turning to look out over that right shoulder. And back to center. And turning to look out over the left. And back to center, dropping the chin into the chest. And then picking the chin up towards the ceiling and jutting that lower jaw out. And coming back to center and dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And back to center and left ear to left shoulder. And back to center. Bringing the hands out in front, open and close the fingers. And then circle the wrists and reverse. Good, bringing those hands back to the lap, then we'll do some shrugs. And the next time you pick those shoulders up, roll them to the back. And bringing those shoulders back to neutral, extending the arms out in front, palms and elbows together. With an inhale, bring those elbows out to the side, squeeze those shoulder blades. And exhale, center. Inhale, expand, open the chest. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, one more. Inhale. Exhale, center. Good. And then bringing the hands down, bringing the right hand to the outside of the right hip. Inhale, sweep that left arm up, and exhale, bending to the right. And then releasing back to center, switch arms. Inhale, exhale to the left. Good, coming back to center, and then coming into a twist. Place the left hand on the right knee. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and then exhale, turn and look to the right. Bring that right hand around behind you. And then exhale back to center, switch hands. Inhale and exhale to the left. Good, and then release back to center. Go ahead and extend those legs out in front of you if you have them folded, and just shake them out a little bit. And then taking your hands, placing them behind the right thigh, pulling that knee in and extending it out. And then pulling the knee in the next time, hold it there. Point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. And switch legs, starting with that bending and extending of the knee. And the next time you pull the knee in, hold it there, point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. And then we're going to come on to hands and knees. And we're going to do a warm-up after down dog. That's going to be on our knees. We'll be kneeling. So if your knees are a little sensitive, then I do suggest you open up your blanket and use that. All right. So we'll start by coming into hands and knees for cat-cow. Place the wrists under the shoulders, knees hip-width apart and stacked under the hips. And with your inhale, lift the chest and the sits bones. Exhale, press into those hands, drop the chin to the chest for cat. Inhale, back to cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And again, inhale and exhale. Good. And bringing the spine back to neutral, we're going to do a bird dog. So extend the left leg and the right arm. I usually come on my fingertips and my toes, tighten the abdominals, and then lift. Good. And lower. And switch. So before you actually lift, tighten the abdominals. Good. Take your time here. Remember, you can always break it down to just hands or just the legs if you're feeling a little unsteady. Good. Let's try it once more each side. Good. Then coming back to center and coming into child's pose. And supporting the head. And then extending the arms back out, coming back up to hands and knees. If you're staying in puppy pose, extend the arms a little farther out in front of you so you can drop the chest. Otherwise, coming into downward facing dog. So you're going to press into the base of the index finger and the thumb. With your inhale, lift the hips. Keep a little bend in the knees. And then either holding here or straightening one leg and then the other. Just warming up those hamstrings. The important thing here is extending through the arms into the back. Good. And then with your next exhale, we'll come back down, bring the knees down. And then here's where we're going to come into a kneeling position. So again, if you want to put your blanket under your legs, I'm actually going to turn mine. I should have done that before. There we go. All right, so we're going to do a warm-up. This is called Thunderbolt. So let me show you the movement. So we'll go kind of slow here. You're going to inhale, lift the arms up. With the exhale, bring the arms down, turn the palms up as you come into child's pose. We'll just stay here for a breath. Then with your inhale, you're going to extend the arms out in front of you. Come on up, drop the hips, coming into upward facing dog. Good, and then exhale, back to child's pose, turn the palms up. And then with your next inhale, we lift all the way back up and start that again. All right, so here we go. Reach it up. With your exhale, come into child's pose. With your next inhale, extend the arms. Come forward, drop the hips, a little back bend here. Good, then exhale back into child's pose, turn the palms up. And then inhale, lift yourself all the way back up. Good. And again, here we go. Exhale down, child's pose. Inhale, extend the arms, come forward, drop the hips to arch the back. Good. Exhale back into child's pose, palms up. And then inhale, lift all the way back up. Good. And again, here we go, down. Your exhale. Inhale, extend the arms. Come into up dog. Good. Exhale back into child's pose. And then inhale, lift all the way back up. Good. And then with the exhale, go ahead and bring those hands down and we'll come up to standing. So if you want to step a foot forward, go ahead and do that. If I'm on hands and knees, I usually just rock back on the balls of my feet. Go ahead and put your blanket to the side. And you will want to make sure that your block is nearby. All right, I just said I walked back and then I stepped forward. So either way, as long as you're standing, that's the important point. All right, so we're going to grab your block and we're just going to use it to do a little, bring attention to our legs, a little leg strengthener. We're going to start in Tadasana. So you're going to take that narrow edge of the block and you're going to bring it between your thighs. Now, in order to hold that, you are going to step your feet a little closer together than you probably normally would in Tadasana, so that your thighs are squeezing the block. So we're working on that leg strength. You're still going to keep the feet parallel, find the four corners of the feet, so inner and outer edges of the balls of the feet back to the heels. Good. And then you're going to tighten the front of the thighs. Now you can really feel it because you're squeezing that block. Bring the arms alongside the body, palms facing each other. Lift and tighten the abdominals. Focus on the spine, lengthening up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Good. Pick those shoulders up as you roll them down the back, lift the chest. Now, pull the neck back a little bit. Keep your chin parallel just so your ears are stacked over the shoulders. You're gazing forward and just coming back to that nice, even breathing. And just take a few breaths here. Good. Now, keeping those feet rooted down, we're going to come into chair pose and we're going to use the block. So with an inhale, let's start by just bringing the arms out at shoulder height. And then with the exhale, bend the knees. The way to go back into your hips and your heels. Good. And continue to breathe. So when you squeeze the block, it helps to keep your knees from going out to the side. Glance down, make sure you can see your toes. Good. And then come on back up, rest it out. We're going to try that one more time. You're welcome to have the arms at shoulder height, or if you'd like to bring them up a little bit higher, that's going to limit how far you can come down. But if you want to work on that range of motion, you can do that. All right, with the inhale, then either shoulder height or lifting those arms up. And then exhale, coming back in the pose. Continue to breathe. Good. And then with the inhale, come on back up. Rest it out. Go ahead and remove your block. Shake those legs a little bit. And then go ahead and grab your chair. And you want to bring your chair to the front of the mat. And you do, unless you have a wall right here behind you that you can push your chair up against, just make sure the chair is on your sticky mat so that the chair doesn't scoot out from underneath you. All right, so right now, just go ahead and put your block on the chair. So we're going to come into Warrior One and then go into Parsvotanasana, or what we call our intense stretch. So we're going to be working these hamstrings. We're stretching them. All right, so we're going to start by facing the chair, and we're actually going to be using the back of the chair, or it's going to be an option for you. Not for Warrior One, but for our second pose. All right, find the four corners of the feet. Shift the weight over to the left leg. Bend the right knee. So remember, Warrior One, you're going to step that right foot back, and as you press the heel down, then bend the left knee. Probably go a little bit wider here. It's not as wide a stance as a lunge because you want that right heel down. The right foot is angled about 15 degrees, and then you want to square the hips to the front of the chair. So you're going to pull that left hip back a little bit. The left knee should be bent right over the ankle. Good. You want to lift the torso. If you need to, you can keep your hands on your hips. Otherwise, we'll bring the arms down alongside the body, and then with an inhale, lift them up next to the ears. Good. If you can, see if you can look up a little bit. So you're going to do a little arching of the back. Watch that low back. If you feel it in the low back, tighten those abdominals. Tighten the right buttock. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then with your exhale, bring the arms down. And then you're going to straighten the left knee. And you're going to bring your arms around behind you and just hold on to your opposite forearm. All right. So I'm going to give you an option here once we come down to also use the chair. So with an inhale, lengthen. And then you're going to exhale and bend from the hip. So don't round the back. Back stays perfectly straight. Keeping the arms behind you helps you to keep that back straight. So come forward just as far as you can. When you start to feel that stretch in the left hamstring, or you feel yourself rounding, then stop. Depending on your chair, you can bring your hands out in front of you and rest them on the chair, as long as you're not rounding the back. So maybe if your chair height is a little higher. Good. So you're either here or just holding behind the back. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then inhale, go ahead and lift and release, and we'll try that on the other side. So step the right foot forward. And if you did want to hold on to the back of the chair, maybe step a little closer to the chair if you felt like you were too far back. All right, weights in the right leg, then the left knee. And then as you step that left foot back, plant the heel, then the right knee. Square the hips towards the chair. And again, you're welcome to keep your hands on the hips. Or if you're okay, you feel stable enough to lift the arms up, go ahead and try that. And breathe. Good, and then with the exhale, go ahead and release the arms. And then you're going to straighten the right knee. Bring the arms again behind you, holding on to the opposite, either the wrists, forearms, whatever's comfortable. Take a nice big inhale, chest is open. And then again, exhale, bend from the hip, coming forward, just till you feel that deep stretch in that right hamstring. Good, so either holding here or possibly holding on to the back of the chair. But again, that's going to depend on the flexibility in those hamstrings so you don't round your back. Good, and then with the inhale, go ahead and lift the torso. And then bend the right knee so you can step the left foot forward. And then walk it out a little bit. And then we're going to come into twisted triangle. So here's where you may want the block and the seat of the chair. You can put the block on the chair. You can use just the seat of the chair, or if you're a little more flexible, which you do this like, you may want to put the block on the floor as you turn. So a couple of different options here. All right, so I'm going to put the block on the floor. I'll show you that, and then I'll show it to you with your hand on the chair. All right, so that I'm turning and facing you, I'm going to do the opposite leg. That makes sense. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna turn this way first. I'll turn around. Okay. So facing the chair, you're going to shift the weight into the right leg. And then put the weight into the left leg because you're going to step the right leg back. So you're going to come back into that same position that we just had when we did our intense stretch. So you don't want to be too far away from the chair. I would say have your foot just under the edge of the chair. And again, you can have your block on the seat of the chair. Try that. Hand on the chair or block. You'll have to push the chair out of the way. So I'm going to use the chair this time. All right, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, bending forward. That front knee stays straight unless your hamstrings are really tight, and you may want a little micro bend. Now, focus on those right lower ribs. Begin to turn to the left. Bring your right hand down on the chair. Good, so I'm looking to the left. And then extending that left arm up. Good, continue to breathe. Good, and then with the exhale, go ahead and bring that left arm down. Bend the left knee as you lift the torso. All right, let me put this around on the other side. We'll try it on the other side. So this one I'm going to show you with the block, if you want to use the block. If not, just go back to block on the chair, hand on the chair, whatever works best for you. All right, this time we're going to shift the weight into the right leg. Step that left leg back. Straighten the right leg. Inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, begin to come forward. Then you're going to turn the lower left ribs now to the right. And I'll put my left hand either on the seat of the chair or on the block. And then extending that right arm up. Good. Pull those inner thighs towards each other. Good. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and release that right arm. Bend the right knee so you can lift the torso, and then step that left leg forward. All right, we're going to come down on the mat. So go ahead and put your chair to the side. Go ahead and keep your block nearby, and also your strap. So as we come down on the mat, we'll then come on our sides and lower ourselves down on our back. All right, so we're just going to do a little knee sequence here to strengthen the legs and the core. So we're going to start by extending the left leg. And you're going to bend the right knee in towards your chest. And then extend the right leg straight out. Lift it up. Good. Lower it. Bend it back in. So it's extend, lift, lower, bend it in. If you have low back issues, you can bring your hands underneath your hips and let your hips rest on your hands. That will not arch that low back as much. That might be more comfortable for you. So try that. So just bend that knee in, extend it out, lift, lower. Good. Keep the abs tight. Good. Let's do one more. Good. Bring that leg all the way down. Just relax it out. Let it fall out to the side. And let's try it on the other side. All right. Left knee comes in. Extend it out. Lift. Lower. Good. Bring it in. Extend it out. Lift. And lower. Good. Let's do two more. And last one. And just bring that leg all the way down. Completely relax it out. Just let those feet fall open to the side. Just take a few moments here. And then grabbing your block, we're going to put this medium width, I guess it is. Yes, medium width here between your feet. So putting the block on the mat, when you bend your knees, put your feet on either side of the block so that your big toes are touching the block. And then sliding those heels in, we're going to come into bridge. And same concept with squeezing the block. I mean, we could squeeze the block with our thighs. I kind of like this because it keeps your feet where they need to be. And by keeping the feet there, again, we want to prevent this when you come into bridge, the knees going out to the side. All right, so you remember the arm position here, back of the arms, or once you lift your hips, then extending the arms under your back. All right, here we go. Ready? With an inhale, press into the heels, lift the hips. I'm going to extend the arms under the back. Now imagine you're trying to slide your heels down the mat. Activate those hamstrings. Good. Press those feet into the block. Do you see how that keeps your knees in line with your hips? Good. And breathe. Good. And then release those arms. Exhale slowly. Lower the hips. Good. Just relax it out. Just put your block to the side. And then we're going to roll over and push ourselves back up to a seated position. You will need your strap. And also grab your blanket and sit up on your blanket. So we're going to do, we have to do a twist first. I almost forgot. All right, so we'll extend those legs out in front. And keeping the left leg extended, we're going to bend the right knee, slide it in towards you. Distribute your weight evenly on both hips. So we're going to be turning to the right. Inhale to lengthen. And then as you exhale, bring that right hand around behind you. Hug the knee in with that left arm. And turn and look to the right. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then releasing the twist, coming back to center. Switch legs. So we'll pull that left knee in. Good. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, lower right ribs, turn first. Wrap your right arm around the left knee. Hug it in towards you. Bring that left hand around behind you. And use it as a little kickstand to help keep the spine straight as you turn and look to the left. Good. And then releasing back to center, go ahead and extend that left leg. Shake it out a little bit. So we're going to come into a forward fold. I'm going to give you two options here. We're going to start by keeping the right leg extended. So here's your first option. I'm going to roll over a little bit on my right side and then bend my left knee and bring my left foot to the outside of my left hip. So if this is too much on the knee joint to stay here, then just bring that left foot in and place the instep of the left foot against the right thigh. Also, you could take your block and support that left knee. So you're either here or here. Move my blanket a little bit. All right, so right leg either way is extended. Have your knees and toes pointing up. Grab your strap. You're going to place that around the ball of the foot. And then holding onto the strap with each hand. Good. And then extending the spine. Keep those shoulders down. Just feel a nice stretch in the back of the thigh. So I'm going to tighten the front of the thigh. That will help release that hamstring. Good. And then just continue to breathe. Good, and then with the inhale, go ahead and release that strap, lift your torso, and we'll try it on the other side. Good. So again, we're going to tuck that right heel to the outside of the right hip, or you're going to bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. We've done that one a lot, so, and you can use your block on your knee. All right, here we go. Left knee and toes are pointing up. Come back to your strap. Place it around the ball of the foot. Extend those arms. Again, you're paying attention to the spine, keeping the back straight. Pull the shoulders down the back. Tighten the front of the thigh. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, and then with the inhale, go ahead and lift the torso, remove your strap. Release that right leg. And then we're going to take the knees out to the side and bring the soles of the feet together for about a Konasana. If you had both blocks nearby, if you wanted to try this on your own, then you just, you can always put a block under each knee. You can bring those hands around behind you to help support the spine, keep the back straight, and then press through your knees. See if you can open up a little bit more. You'll feel a nice stretch. So the key here, even if you have your hands on your feet, is to then hold on to your feet, but lift the torso. So you don't want to round the spine. So it's going to kind of depend on the flexibility of those inner thighs. Good. And then just continue to breathe. Good. And with the inhale, go ahead and lift the torso. Release the legs, shake them out a little bit. So we're going to do a leg release. Instead of legs, what we call up the wall that we do on the block, we're actually going to do them on the chair. And when we do that, you completely release what's called the psoas muscle, which you tighten when you sit all day. So this is a great way to just completely relax that muscle. So slide your chair back over to your mat. And then grab your blanket. Just open it up so it covers the seat of your chair, mainly the edge of the chair here. And then have whatever else you need for Savasana nearby, because after this we'll go right down into Savasana. So you want to come over to your chair, maybe turn a little bit sideways. So when you lay down, you can swing your legs up and then position yourself so that your knees are pretty much over your hips. And your lower legs are supported by the chair. And then, just like you do in Savasana, we're just going to take a few moments here, maybe, I don't know, about a minute or so, a minute and a half. And just completely let go. Just closing the eyes. About 30 more seconds. So from here, you'll come into Savasana. So just lifting the legs up, sweep them to the side, and then bringing yourself up so you can scoot up the mat, probably just extend the chair off the mat, and then position yourself so you're comfortable. I'm going to stay in my seated position. So as you lay out on the mat, extending those legs out in front of you, just like we did before when we would relax, just letting those feet fall open to the sides. Arms are alongside the body, a few inches away from it, and palms are facing up towards the ceiling. That helps to open up the front of the chest. And then go ahead and close the eyes and return the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale and notice the exhale. After your next inhale, begin to lengthen the exhale. And continue lengthening each exhale until they become about twice as long as the inhale. And then focus on the physical body. Relax all the muscles from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. Release any tension or tightness. And focus on the mind. Release any thoughts, worries, or anxieties. Next inhale, think the word so. And with the exhale, think the word hum, which means I am. Or use any other words or phrase that has meaning to you. And allow yourself just a few moments to completely let go. begin to deepen your breath. And then start moving your fingers and toes. And then the wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, bending both knees and rolling onto your right side in a fetal position. And taking a few breaths here. And using your left hand to support you, pushing yourself back up into a seated position. And keeping the body relaxed and the eyes closed for another moment. Focus on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. Take one more deep cleansing breath. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you all so much for joining me